The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles. And unfortunately, Dom isn't here. He's actually asleep because he has taken work as a university lecturer. And as all people who work at universities know, one of the great things that you have to do as an academic is mark the papers of incoherent fuckheads from undergraduate degrees, right? And so he's had about 100 million essays to mark over the last 24 hours because, of course, he left it all to the last minute, as you do with marking because it's such a horrible shit job. And so he was up till 7 a.m. this morning marking, which means he is now currently asleep, which means instead we're going to have to sub him out with... Mark Humphries. Mark, welcome to the podcast. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm
apologising to the listeners that
yes, no, of course. Yeah. But I'm thrilled to be here, but apologies to everyone listening.
Yeah, no, exactly. But, you know, talking of terrible jobs to take, Mark.
I was waiting. I knew I could see. I heard that.
You could see that coming.
Well enough. You planted the idea in the setup.
Yeah, and then I buried it by insulting you. And I went, oh, fuck, that was a stupid turn. Maybe I should have just segued straight into the terrible jobs. Yeah, so, I mean, Dom, you know, had to make ends meet and ended up, you know, teaching future generations. What job have you taken in the last 24 hours, Mark?
Well, according to some people, I'm Channel 7's new newsreader. That's what people seem to have taken away from.
Is that defamatory? Like, can you take them to court for that?
I love that idea.
As a Channel 7, you probably will be suing people for defamation. Like now that you're a Channel 7 executive, do they give you like a defamation budget as part of your salary?
I think that's part of it. I've actually requested that.
Yeah.
I've insisted upon it. But yeah, no, just a few people got in touch saying, "Are you the new Channel 7 newsreader?" I'm like, how would that work?
Well, you were a game show host for a while. Like, you know, you are multi-talented. I'd believe you as a anchor. You know, you could do it.
Yeah, I think people think that some people think that like 7 News is going down some path like The Project or something, and that I would deliver the news, and then I would, you know, have a cocked eyebrow at the end or a sound effect at the end of the story.
Well, I've only learned in the last 24 hours since this was announced that you're going to Channel 7. I always thought that Channel 7 News was a parrot. Like, I thought it was like they'd sort of taken CNN and stolen it from us.
If anything, this makes the news more serious.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. So but what is your actual job going to be?
So I mean, it's kind of similar to the 7:30 thing in that it will be cancelled. It's sort of at the end of the news, the 6 o'clock news. I think I'll be doing a couple of minutes of Rye observations.
What every day?
Well, no, it's Friday. I think we're gonna start with, because this is very, very early days. So apologies if things change, but I think we'll try it on a Friday for
so you're going to be the Friday funny man, like in Frontline.
That's my lot in life. Yes.
Do you have a keyboard? Are you going to do it with a keyboard?
Again, it's all in the contract. These are all my requests. I won't be using a keyboard, but I insist on having one available to me at all times.
Yeah.
So it'll be some sort of 2-minute thing at the end of the news. Yeah. It's not what some people seem to think, which is like the whole news is going to be funny now or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Why did you decide to sell out and join an evil corporation?
Well, I always think of I remember David Cross, you know, who's from like Arrested Development and Mr. Show, and I remember he was asked once about why he'd done the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, and he said, it's a good question, because part of the reason that I did it is that I went to put a deposit down on a house, and it turns out the bank doesn't accept indie cred. So, you know, as a divorced father of 2 to 3 children, I do think that I probably do need to make some money. And I think I just need to make it clear that the ABC let me go 10 months ago. I think I remember this happened when I was doing something with Jazz Twemlow for Amazon a few years ago. And obviously Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. And I remember a couple of comments about, oh, how could you work for Jeff, as if like you're reporting to Jeff Bezos. But yeah, it was that sort of thing of like, I don't think you realize that we don't get to kind of just go, oh, I'd like to work at Channel 9, or I'd like to do this. So it's sort of like the opportunities are so rare, and I think Channel 7 is certainly an unusual place to end up, but this was their idea. They've got a new team in the news department there that's come in very, very recently, and they want to try something new. And,
are the old team in jail? Is there?
I think that's right. Yeah. I think that's right. So yeah, I haven't kept tabs on whether, but yes, it is a new, I'm not reporting to the person who approved the cocaine and massages. So, at least I hope I'm not.
Well, no, I hope you are.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I've had a lot of tweets about that. But I think what's funny as well is like in the lead up, because obviously we're going on tour, you and I and James and Veronica Milsom. Can we say that Veronica Milsom is going on tour with us? Or do we
Well, we haven't announced it yet, but this can be the announcement video.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We're doing more on 2024 at the end of the year with and Veronica Milsom's coming on tour this year.
Exactly. Fantastic addition. And so I've been thinking about, what characters or pieces I might do for that tour. And prior to getting this offer from Channel 7, my first idea was, I think I'll play like a Channel 7 producer character. And so I then thought, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. I'm like, no, I think I should still do that because...
Yes, I think you should. Yes, because that was actually the Chaser's principle, was that we should always bite the hand that feeds us. That's exactly how you, like, if you go in and people know that what they're getting is something that will bite their own hand, then when you bite their hand, they can't turn around and say, well, hang on, we didn't expect to get our hands bitten.
That's it. And as you record this podcast from your basement, do you think that was a good move in the end?
But hold on, can I just go back to the money thing, which is you were at the ABC for several years doing that 7:30 job. You worked for 2 minutes every 2 weeks. Don't you have retirement level money already? Like that's like a 2-minute sketch at the ABC. Like, you don't need to sell out. Like, that's not indie cred. That's bankable money, isn't it?
Exactly. Look, it was a golden age. Let's be honest. So
and before that, let's not forget SBS. You did the occasional sketch on SBS. Like, that would have been dollars.
But Charles, what you've got to understand, Charles, though, I've just moved house. And I was going through all my boxes of CDs and DVDs, and I found my collection of CDs of original Broadway cast recordings. And it was in that moment that I realized why I never got a house deposit. There's thousands of dollars worth of cast recordings for musicals,
which you can now stream for free on Spotify.
yeah. But exactly right. I've now just got stuff that just takes up physical space and that I need to pay for to be stored somewhere. But yes, sadly, I do need to eat and feed my children. So I hope people can understand the need to take the occasional paid work.
So can I just ask, you were cited going into Channel 7 a day or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Was that your induction? Like, did they teach you how to kick an old civilian off a cliff and launch unsuccessful defamation proceedings against highly traumatized people?
Yeah. There's a manual that I haven't gone through yet,
right?
But I'm hoping that it covers all those areas. Yeah, no, that was weird. It was in the sense of because that was someone leaked that to the Australian, and it was just like, I don't know. I just found that really strange that someone at Channel 7 would. I mean, I guess it's just a different sort of mentality, but that mentality of seeing something in the Channel 7 cafe and then going, oh, I think I'll contact a rival media outlet, and I just thought that was
leaked it. That was the worst. That was the worst, diversion I've ever seen. You leaked it.
I would love to leak, but if I leaked it, it would come through Peter Ford, and it didn't. So I genuinely don't know what happened there. But it was just, I think I was just mildly peeved by it because it just meant like suddenly it's like a lot of questions about, well, what are you doing? And it's just like I've literally gone in and had one meeting.
Were you hoping to get away with it just going under the radar because nobody actually watches free-to-air television anymore?
Is that true?
You could collect a paycheck and no one would know.
That's very funny. I love that idea. I think that's true sometimes. That does tickle me whenever. I always love when you suddenly, like, you go to JB Hi-Fi and you suddenly discover that there were 12 seasons of Charmed or something like that.
That's right, exactly.
Like,
The Chaser Report. More news, less often.
But the thing is, like, the demographic, I imagine the demographic of Channel 7 News, free to air, would be in their 80s, wouldn't they? The core demographic.
and that's being generous.
And it would be people who don't know how to change the channel yet. I've always banked on that audience. That's always been my... Oh, yes, because that's your ABC audience as well. So are Channel 7 hoping that 2 minutes of Mark Humphries once a week will just convert an entire generation of ABC viewers over to their wonderful news service? Is that there?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think when you put it that way, I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, right. Because presumably, they'll post it online though. We'll be able to see it though, won't we? Without watching.
Yes, exactly. No, that's the thing. Oh gosh, yes.
You should insist on that.
Will not change the channel.
You should insist in that in your contract because some of the best viral videos coming out of Channel 7. Like that Bruce Lemon one at the dinner party. Like they go viral, those Channel 7 personality ones.
What was the dinner party one?
The one where there was a guy racking up white powder next to him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that was like weeks ago. So that's ancient history.
It is ancient history.
Yeah.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah, that was the old generation of Channel 7 News, like from 30 days ago.
Yeah, it's funny talking to you. It almost sounds like this is a bad idea. We've absolutely, we've lampooned 7 before in our tours, and
we will do again.
I'd be very interested to see how it goes. I mean, I remember there was something at SBS once where I think I can tell this story now. Yeah, okay, I think enough time has passed. That basically SBS launched The Handmaid's Tale back about 6 or 7 years ago, and there was something went wrong where a whole bunch of people, it went on SBS On Demand. A lot of people had trouble streaming it. And so there were articles the next day about, the handmaids fail and what have you, like all these things that kind of didn't. Actually,
that's right. I remember that. I think their iView version thing, it crashed. SBS On Demand crashed, didn't it?
Yes.
Exactly
right.
Yeah.
That's it. And so Evan and I were making daily sketches for SBS's The Feed at that time. And I remember I came in the next day and I said, look, if this had happened to any other network, we would make a sketch about it, because it was this big. There'd been a big promotional lead up to it, and so I said, I think we should do. That's right. That's right, because it crashed, or it was glitchy for some people, or ads came up in the middle of sentences, or they got the same ad over and over and over again. And so I said, I reckon we should do an apology from SBS On Demand, and then the apology should be interrupted by ads. Exactly.
Ah, lovely. Yes.
And so we shot this apology piece, and I was so thrilled with it. And I really loved that SBS had the sense of humor to poke fun at themselves and what have you. And then maybe an hour before broadcast, I get a call saying, "Oh, Mark, just letting you know, we showed the sketch to the team at SBS On Demand, and someone cried, so we're not going to be airing that sketch." And so, so what am I trying to say here? I'm hoping that if Channel 7 has any further scandals, they'll allow me to rib them, but maybe not. If SBS wasn't willing to kind of go all the way, then yeah. And it's funny, a few years later, I think Handmaid's Tale season 4 or something launched, and I thought, oh, enough. I still had the original sketch. I still had the video file. And I thought, well, enough time's passed. I think I can put this out now and say, oh, here's something we made a few years ago. It never aired, blah, 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 blah. I think within, I don't know, 15 minutes, I got a phone call from someone at SBS. Yeah, Mark, you don't actually own that video file. Could you take that down?
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how willing they are to poke fun at themselves. I don't know. It's an experiment. I'm kind of, I think, as with everything, I kind of just go in with low expectations. And, you know, if it lasts for a year, it lasts for 1 week, I don't know. But it's something new.
So, have you talked to Seven about crossover opportunities? Because I think that's where, like, to me, Channel 7 News is whatever. Like, I think it's the number one news service. But there's a lot of other shows that are more Mark Humphries on Channel 7. Like, I'm thinking Love Interest on Home and Away.
Well, it's funny you say that because Home and Away is shot. I didn't realize this. The interior sets are right next door to the news studio.
Do they ever get confused and accidentally shoot, you know, the news on the Home and Away set?
I do believe so. I think that does explain why Mark Ferguson was briefly one of the River Boys. But yeah, that's my hope for some crossover opportunities. My understanding is they brought back the cash cow. When I walked into the news studio for the first time, and only time, the head of the cash cow was just on a table. And I think that was their way of saying, try it on, see how it fits. Just, you know, you could be the cash cow. So that would be my hope. And also, Chris Brown has joined the network, so I can be his sort of slightly or significantly less handsome body double. I could do like back of head shots because Chris Brown just does the front. I'll just do the back.
You should pitch to them a game show involving you and Chris Brown.
And the game is just, can you tell which one's which? And people, women will always be able to tell. Yeah. They win every time.
And what about, because the other one is, do they have Dancing with the Stars still? Does that still exist?
They do. I'm still waiting for the call up on that.
Because I'm thinking if you become a sort of like notable Seven personality, you could get on that, and that would be your dream, wouldn't it? Because your musical theatre is your life.
That's it. And I've got the moves, but I don't take well to choreography. I need to be able to do. I'm like
freeform.
I'm like Paul Mercury in Strictly Ballroom. I sort of need to dance my own steps.
Yeah.
So no, I'd love to do that. And I'll tell you another story which amused me. I'm telling stories out of school here. I think I'm trying to get fired already. You know how Daryl Summers did that bizarre auction bit during the Logies last year? So when he was handing out the gold Logie,
I might have just
blocked it out.
Not watched the Logies last year accidentally.
That's a shame. It's weird. I don't know why you would not watch it. But anyway, so Daryl did this. Daryl announced the gold Logie, and he did this bit. So Daryl was also, he was hosting Dancing with the Stars at the time. Anyway, he did this bit where it was like as if the gold Logie was up for auction. It was like, oh, Hamish Blake's put in a bid there, or Sonia Kruger over there, Tom Gleason. And famously, Tom Gleason sort of barreled the camera to say, is this funny or this isn't funny?
Ah, yes, anyway, I remember that controversy,
Yeah, and it just sort of died a death. But anyway, I was speaking to someone who had been at Dancing with the Stars, which had just filmed its finale earlier that week. And they told me that Daryl did the exact same auction bit in the final episode of Dancing with the Stars, but it tanked. So they cut it in the edit. And what Daryl then did is thought, hang on, they cut my great auction bit. Well, I'll show them. I'm going to do it in the Logies.
I'll do it live. I'll do it live so they can't edit it.
Can't cut it.
Yeah. We'll see who's the fool after that.
So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I told that story, but that's just a little bit of showbiz. I just love showbiz anecdotes.
Now, talking about jobs, one of the jobs that Dom has on this podcast is to find a sort of neat, brief segue that sort of encapsulates the whole podcast and provides a witty ending. so that then I can go, our gears from Road, we're part of the Iconoclast network. I am wondering whether you, Mark, you do lots of emceeing and stuff like that. Can you just find an end that sort of encapsulates this whole podcast so we can actually just stop doing it? Because I think it's come to its natural end.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so we just need a quick out. And Dom always does it really well. He just goes, witty line that summarises everything, and then we can just leave, and we can. Well, I don't know what you're. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Sure.
You're going to sort of count your money or something.
You want something like, much like my career after joining Seven, we've come to an end. It's been the Chaser Report.
See, that's why you're earning the big bucks. That's why you're earning the big bucks. Our Gears from Road, we're part of the Iconoclast network. Hopefully Dom will be back tomorrow, so you don't have to have any more.
Because that was terrible.
Yeah.